All right, welcome to part 2, everyone, of our introductory videos. The last one answered the question, what is this course about? We looked at all those fun pictures. This little segment here, this video, is going to be a lot more practical and just take you through D2L and show you where everything is. So, we talked about the home page at the end of the last video. This will accumulate the most recent posts. Here's a good one, though, that I will talk about a bit more in the future once we get into our homework. We can see different ways to read, especially for our course and in general. But really remember what we looked at was this. Here's all the things that you'll need. The basic things that you will need for the course will be the reading list. We'll go over the syllabus and policies in this video, but it's your reading list that's going to show you what your homework is. The reading list you can think of as the course calendar. And so I've got all of our days on there. However, let's go to where all of your homework is, and this is actually where we left off. Under materials and content, where we have what I'm going to refer to as the modules or the sub-modules for your homework. And you can see that here, this one is clicked on, so to speak. You can see I have the due date. So for this particular iteration of the course, when I'm shooting the video, this is when the 6 modules are due. If you're watching this in a future year, the date will be different, but that'll of course be in the same spot. When you look through and you see we've got a different theme for each day, right? And there's 6 modules, and I say for each day, but that's actually not it. You need to complete these 6 modules by the required due date. And so generally you're gonna have more than 6 days to do it. If you're wondering how much homework is in each of these modules, somewhere typically between 2 and 3 hours. Why 2 to 3 hours? I considered a class meeting being, since it's summer school, probably 1 to 2 hours, and then probably that much homework time outside of the class as well. So each of these modules is based upon approximately 3 hours worth of homework. Some days might be less. Very few days I think will be more than that, but I thought that's what we could do in our time together. And I set them up as modules that have one big due date where they all have to be done, so that if you're working for the summer, you have other classes, you're traveling, whatever, you don't have daily homework, but you do need to hit this by the chosen date. So you could do all of these in 3 days, maybe, who knows? And that would be fine. They just need to be done eventually, right? So that. Let's see, I'll stop scrolling around here and just take a look at what you can see. So what you're going to have under each module, I have some of them uploaded right now. This one's ready to go. This will be your first homework assignment, your first module whenever you choose to do it. You're going to have a reading packet. If you open this up, you're going to see all the readings for Module 1. I just did them all as PDFs so you don't have to chase around and find them all over. So everything you need to read is right here. Along with that, you're going to have your reading questions. These are the questions that I specifically tailored to each writing assignment. You're going to have, eventually you will answer some of the reading questions in written form as a D2L discussion post. That basically means that you're going to read for this class and eventually you're going to write about it. And we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But so I want my reading questions out while I'm reading, naturally, because I'm giving you some hints like, hey, here's some major course concepts. Here's what I'd like you to learn. Jot down these things. Some questions are required and you'll write them up. And then I give you a list of optional questions that'll help you come up with a good, strong interpretation. But we'll still allow you some choice in the matter as well, what you want to see and what you want to talk about in the story or the poem or the essay or whatever it is that you're reading. In this one, you can see that you're also going to, for this first unit eventually, I'd like to meet everybody. And so I gave you video introduction instructions. You're going to go ahead and put together just one time at the beginning of the course here, and it's in this module since it's our first module, a short video. You can shoot it on whatever you'd like. Just choose a technology. Maybe it can be your phone even, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But I just want a minute or two of meeting people so I can see who you are and learn a little bit about you. I click on the attachment for the video introduction instructions. You'll see that this opens up, and all I did for this to make it easy on you, it only has to be 1 to 2 minutes, this little video you're going to shoot and then upload. And I've got a spot on D2L discussion where you can put it. I'll show you that in a minute. I just want to meet you. So 30 seconds to a minute, tell us these things. Tell me these things. Tell us these things. So we can meet each other a little bit. And then tell me these things too. And by the time you answer those and just say a little bit about these in an informal manner, you will have a nice short video. I'll do the same in a different video. When this is done, we'll go ahead and put it in the other area of the course. Remember, we've got our home page. You've got materials, content to get to the modules. The other area that we'll use, the only other area, is under assessments. Oops, sorry. No, it is not under assessments. I know that didn't feel right. Communication, discussion. And this is where you're going to do your writing. So your reading, so to speak, will always come from materials, content. When it's time to write it up, and you're going to finish the module with your writing every time, go to discussion, and you will see that you have to write about 400 words. Some of the questions, as I said, will be required, and others will not be. And you can see all of the spaces for you to post are waiting for you right here. Okay. So I would click on this after I'm done my reading, and I've got some questions written up. You might write them up in a Word document, answers to required and optional questions. And then you can just copy and paste it here. All you have to do, I'm sure you've used this before in other courses, but you click Start a New Thread, you have a window open up, and away you go. So that's the D2L discussion. As long as I'm here, I guess I'll just say a word about the D2L discussion posts. When all is said and done, here's one from another course. Here's what they'll look like. And you can just, this person called theirs the 1-4 response, and that's perfectly fine. You can see that each question became sort of a paragraph here. This is probably more than 400 words, and you're welcome as a student to write more than 400. These are nicely written. If there's a spelling mistake here and there, something like that, not a problem. But notice that they read well. I'm looking for that you're answering the questions that I asked, that you're not just saying whatever you'd like or venturing off into personal experience. There'll be moments in the course where you can talk about your personal experience and personal meaning, but we're also applying concepts from the course. And so that's what I'm looking for in a good answer. And if you just take a quick look at this, you can see, here's a really great example. I asked about emotional language. This is from another course in the text. And it says, yes, it's there, and then gives examples of it, actually quotes the text. Evidence for the claim, so to speak. So this is what we're looking for in a good answer. And this is what your D2L posts will look like. You might number them, the paragraphs, a little bit, so I know which ones you're answering for the optional. Or you should have some type of a topic sentence that lets me know, hey, this is the question I'm answering, right? So you can do either way, but that's what a good one looks like. There's also an example. Take a look back here. Hold tight. If we go back here, you can scroll down to the bottom and you can open this D2L discussion post example. What does a good one look like? We see something similar. We see a question evaluating figurative language. We see a response that's not good. It just says, yeah, the poet uses figurative language. It's got a lot of it. He's famous for this, in fact. He has some similes, too. But you can see there's no analysis going on here. We don't have any examples from the language. So here's what a good answer to a question would look like. You can see it's got what we would expect to see. Personification, we know we're going to learn about that. Nice topic sentence. It's got examples of it that are nicely quoted and a page number, so I know where it's coming from when I'm reading this, and that'll be enough to get the work done. And then after that, an interpretation of this, right? One thing I'm going to do, in fact, it's already on the D2L homepage, is I'm going to suggest a paragraphing strategy called the MEAL paragraph, and that stands for main idea, evidence, analysis, link back to topic sentence or thesis. It's something I teach in all of my classes. You may have had it before. It's an easy way to guarantee that you put together a good paragraph or a good answer. So I've got a nice breakdown here, and there's some videos online that you can watch as well if this is new to you. But this is what we're shooting for, so these are good examples for you. The last thing I'll say about the D2L discussion, the writing portion of each module, which again, remember, is found under communication discussion, is that if you're doing them well, no news is good news. I don't go through and pick through them all individually. As long as you're doing a good job, like the examples you saw, you'll get full credit for them. If you hear from me, it's because they're not quite up to snuff, so to speak. And so I'll give you some suggestions for improving, and maybe going back and redoing anything that you would need to redo so you can get full credit. But no news is good news, and the way I'll communicate about success in the D2L discussion posts is by handling it as a group and saying, as a group, we're doing really well. Look at, here's a good one, here's a good one, here's what we're shooting for, here's the level. And so I kind of handle that positively as a group. So if you don't hear from me, everything is going well in the daily homework modules. So I think we've covered some of the basic areas of navigation. You got the home page. When you got to read, it's materials, content. When it's time to write, communication, discussion. You have everything you need. Right, so let's imagine ourselves doing some homework. We're on our home page. I know that for homework, I've got to go to materials, content. I open it up. What I want to do when I'm starting my homework, here's module 1 right here. I'm inside of it. This is what I'm inside of. I click on the reading packet. When I do, here's what you're going to get. It's going to open up as a PDF, and it's going to look like this. You're probably going to want to print it out so you can take notes. But here's our first reading right here. And you can see as we go through, this one is the merchant reading is fairly long. So you can download it here and then print it out if you would like. What you also want to do then is after you have that, you would want to open up the reading questions. And so I'll open those in a second here. I've opened my reading packet. I can see the readings for the day. You want to open up the reading questions. This is what it'll look like. You've got one of these for each module. You can say, I always give you the homework sequence. Watch this. It's always going to be some videos first, recapping what you learned previously in the later modules, and then previewing. There'll be a preview video as well, saying, and it's usually going to be short, about 5 minutes, saying, here are some basic things that we're doing today. Here's the ideas. Here's how these readings go together. And then you'll have the reading questions to take you deeper into that. Here would be the readings then from the PDF packet that I showed you a moment ago online. And you'd want to complete these and then complete your D2L discussion post. And for this module, your introductory video as well. So if we go down, sometimes I'll give you a short intro, but that's what the videos do as well. So not all of them have this, but I'm just reminding you of the basic ideas. And then I've got complete this required question, so you want to do those. This one is another required question, kind of blend these together into a paragraph. And then the same for this. You can see for this module, they happen to all be required. If we looked at other modules, you'd see there might be 2 required and, a lot of other optional questions, and you would just answer some of those. So when you have optional questions, you don't have to answer all of them, but there's still things that should be in your mind. I gave you a lot of questions for some of the denser readings because I'm not there to help you out, because this is an all-online course. So the reading questions are me cueing you, or the notes in red on the PDF document are me cueing you and saying, hey, you might want to think about this at this moment in the reading. And so since I can't be there looking over your shoulder, answering your questions face to face, I've tried to do the best I can at predicting what you might need through giving you good reading questions to structure your reading and some notes along the way. So that use those as you can. If you have any questions, of course, and we'll do a check-in once in a while as a class. If there's something you don't understand, you can always email me and I'll set up a forum where we can talk about that too. So if there are lingering questions or things you don't understand, I can make videos that further discuss those concepts. And the review videos that you'll start off with in each module will always recap the big ideas, and I'll do my best job at going through the literature and explaining what I wanted you to see. So that is homework. Open up the PDF, use your reading questions, read through, come up with answers, go to D2L discussion, and post your nice answer. And that'll be most of the course other than the exams. All right. We've got just a few moments to go through the syllabus. I think the big thing to remember here, and I've talked about a lot of this already, so I'm not going to go through most of it. We won't ever see each other face to face. We won't be together digitally at all. You can do this in your own time. The course is asynchronous, right? And that's all good and fine. If you have any problems, just contact me. You've got my email up on the syllabus. So that's fine. There's one required text for the version of the course that I'm using to shoot this video. It is this book. If you're taking a future summer course, check and make sure that you've gotten the right book. Homework I've already talked about. You've got the modules. We'll do 6 of them, and then we'll take a midterm. They all have to be done at the proper date, and then we'll do another 5, and we'll take the final exam for the second half of the course. You've got to hit the deadlines. That's important to get credit for things. Here's the learning objectives. Basically, we're going to be able to look at interpretive strategies for the environment. And that's the big thing that we're doing. How do people talk about the environment? What are the different ways that we have of understanding the environment? But for your D2L posts, you write 400 words. If things are going well, you won't hear from me. So just assume the best. It has to become math at some point. Here are grades if you're curious. And the big thing is that I'll close with in the last couple seconds, don't plagiarize. There's lots of stuff on the internet, but just do your own thinking and writing, and it'll turn out fine. Thanks.